morning, everyone. We are the Group 4, and we're here to discuss about the table tennis. Table tennis, predominantly known as ping pong, is a fast-moving racket sport requiring exceptional hand-eye coordination. Men and women play either as individual or pairs and win points by hitting a lightweight ball over a net so their opponents can return it or air force into an error. The game came into existence in the early 90s in England, where it was played among the upper-class people as an after-dinner game. The global governing body of table tennis is International Table Tennis Federation, which was founded in 1926. Yung table tennis daw ay dati siyang tawag na ping pong. Isa daw itong mabilis na racket sport na kinakailangan ng mabilis na pagtingin sa bola. Also, men and women play either as individual or pairs. Ibig sabihin, mga lalaki at babae, pwede silang maglaro ng sarili or double or pair. Objective: to hit the ball over and across the net on the opponent's sides of the table so that the opponent can return the ball and score a point. Ibig sabihin, kailangan daw tamaan ng player yung bola para mapunta sa kabilang opponent at hindi ma-hit ito upang magkaroon sila ng score. History of table tennis. The roots of table tennis originate from Victorian England and go to British India, where British officials played from similar variants of the modern sport by stacking up a row of books as nets and using two more books as rackets to hit a golf ball. Ibig sabihin, nag-originate daw ang paglalaro ng table tennis sa Victorian England and dinala ito nila sa India at ang mga officials nito ay ang mga British. The name ping pong and table tennis were synonymous until 1901 when a trademark made in brand specific for J. Jacques and Son Lit, who later sold it to Parker Brothers. Thus, several companies, manufacturers, and associates were forced to change their names from ping pong to table tennis. Another revolutionary change in sport of table tennis came 1901 when James W. Gibb, a British sport enthusiast, invented and introduced the celluloid balls, the first table tennis governing the body called the Table Tennis Association was founded in 1921, while the ITTF was founded in 1926. Equipment history: celluloid balls were introduced in 1990, hence replacing the less efficient rubber and cork balls. Ibig sabihin, ang celluloid balls daw ay na-introduce noong 1990s, hence replacing the less efficient using the rubber and cork balls. The classic hard bat era lingered between 1920 and 1950, marking the period of European dominance in the sport. The 1950s became the age of sponge butt and technology, henceforth marking the beginning of Asian dominance in the game. After the 20th Sydney Olympics of the standard ball size was increased to 40 millimeters as to provide the better enhanced visibility of the ball during a live telecast. A plastic ball were first used in the World Championships and the Olympic in 2019. Yung plastic balls ay nagamit siya sa kauna-unahang World Championships sa Olympic noong taong 2016. Here's the events. Singles, men's singles or women's singles event. Ibig sabihin, kalalakihan na singles or isa lang at women or kababaihan na isa lang ang maglalaro. Sa doubles, men doubles or women doubles events, ibig sabihin parehas na lalaki ang magkapares at parehas na babae rin ang magkapares. Mixed doubles, pair of one male and one female player each size. Ibig sabihin ng mixed doubles, isang lalaki at isang babae magkakampi at sa kabila din naman ay isang lalaki at isang babae. Team. A table tennis team consists of three players. Ibig sabihin dito sa team, kailangan mayroon silang three players, either lalaki or babae. Participants. Table tennis is played by men and women as individuals, one player each size or pair as two players each side. Ibig sabihin sa table tennis, mayroong participants na lalaki at babae. Or pwede din individuals, one player each size or pair as two players each side. Techniques. Here's the first technique: spin, the top spin. In this technique, the ball is hit at high speed by starting the stroke. Ibig sabihin dito, isang technique daw to na kapag hinit mo yung bola ng malakas at na high speed by starting the stroke below the ball and hitting it in upward and forward direction. It can be forehand topspin as well as the backhand topspin. Next is the backspin. This technique is applied by taking a stroke above the ball and hitting in the downward direction so that it bounces low and die immediately, so that the opponent can't return it. Side spin. This is a technique in which the ball is hit in a sideways motion and first bounce on the server's side of the table and then to receive's side. That changes the trajectory of the ball, makes the shot tricky. Pen hold grip. It is a grip in which the player holds the racket handle in the same manner as holding a pen by clasping the handle between the thumb and the forefinger. Equipment. First is ball. The table tennis balls are spherical solids having a mass of 25 grams and a diameter of 1.57 inches or 40 millimeters. Ibig sabihin, itong ball na to ay nagko-contain siya ng mass of 27 grams and a diameter of 1.57 inches. They are generally made with white or orange but the color is chosen in a contrast para makita siya kapag nasa dilim. To the table to enhance its visibility for the players and audience, the ITTF rates the table tennis balls are ping pong balls from 1 to 3 with a third star rating indicating a ball being the finest among others. A ping-pong table is 274 meters long and 1,525 meters as wide and 76 centimeters high, with the IITF approves tables only made from wood or any other similar materials. Yung table daw dapat is made of wood, and other materials. A ping pong table consists of net and its middle which divides the table into two equal parts. Ibig sabihin sa gitna ng table na to ay merong net na tinatawag. Tapos nahati siya sa dalawang table and sa kabilang table doon yung isang player and sa kabila naman table doon yung players na maglalaro. Rackets. A table tennis racket is strictly similar to a regular tennis racket except the fact that it is smaller size and used to hit the ball back and forth on the table. It's made up of two parts, handle and blade, both made up of high quality wood and laminated with a rubber. The average size of a racket blade in a table tennis is 6.7 inches long and 5.9 inches wide. Here's the examples of rackets. Shoes have non-marking soles that allow good ankle control and quick movements to the players. Itong shoes na to, itong nasa larawan, isa siyang shoes na ginagamit sa table tennis, sa paglalaro ng table tennis. Table tennis shorts and skirts. Men always wear shorts while women can wear shorts or skirts according to their choice. Ibig sabihin, ang mga lalaki ay kinakailangan magsuot ng shorts. At ang mga kababaihan naman, if gusto nila magsuot ng skirt or ng shorts ay pwede kung saan sila mas komportable maglaro. Table tennis shirt. Players wear lightweight short sleeve or sleeveless shirts. Playing area. The table tennis is played on a table which has length of 2.74 meter, the width of 15 meters, and the height of 0.76 meters. It is divided into halves by a vertical net having the height of 5.25 centimeter. Usually wooden tables are used having a dark colored playing a surface, mostly dark green, dark blue, or black. The center line of the table divides in vertically for double games. Here's the example of table tennis shirt. As we see, it's a light color, which blue and white. How about this one? It's color red, green, and also the black color. Officials. Referee. He is responsible for the entire organization of the table tennis event. Ibig sabihin yung referee daw, siya daw yung isang responsable na mag-organize ng isang game sa table tennis. Umpire, he controls the match, announce points, and makes call during the match. Yung umpire, siya naman yung nagko-control ng match. Siya yung nag-a-announce ng mga points and siya yung tumatawag ng mga match. Assistant umpire. In international competition, assistant umpire shares the umpire's duties, signals out of bound of balls, can declare an illegal serve. Here's the sum of example of playing table tennis. Let me show you some video.
Ping pong, also called table tennis, is a fun two-player game where players try to score more points than their opponent by hitting a ping pong ball to their opponent's side of the table. To play, start by choosing a player to serve first. On a player's serve, they lob the ball straight up into the air and strike it to the other side of the table with their paddle. As long as the ball lands anywhere on their opponent's side of the table, the serve is legal. The other player must then hit the ball back to the other side of the table. Players continue to hit the ball back and forth until it either misses the table, bounces twice on one side, bounces once but isn't returned by the player on that side, or if it hits the net. 1 point is awarded to whichever player didn't cause the foul. The serve alternates every 2 points. Whoever gets to 11 points first wins that round. Then a new round starts. The player who wins 3 out of 5 rounds wins the game.
History of table tennis. Table tennis first appeared in England during the end of the 19th century. The early players who took their inspiration from lawn tennis were from middle-class Victorian society. Table tennis was then considered to be merely a pastime for the wealthy classes. Englishman David Foster invented the first tennis match on a table in 1890, drawn in by its widespread appeal. A year later, in 1902 Gold, a British game fan introduced the first rubber-coated bats and rubberized bumps. The greatest table tennis match in history had begun. Even though the term ping pong is not used in the official terminology, it has been widely used to refer to table tennis, a recreational activity and Olympic sport since 1988. Particularly, it derives from the onomatopoeic sounds of the ball that first appeared in the Far East in 1884. Ping imitates the sound of the bat striking a ball, and pong imitates the sound of the ball bouncing off the table. Rules and regulations. The tabletop's vertical sides are not allowed to be part of the playing area. The playing surface must be uniformly matte and dark, but it must also include 2 cm wide white side lines and end lines along each of its 2.74 and 1.525 m edge. A vertical net that runs parallel to the end lines and it continues throughout each court's whole surface area will divide the playing area into 2 equal courts. For doubles, each court must be split into 2 equal half courts by a white center line that is 3 mm broad and runs parallel to the sidelines. The center line is considered to be a component of each right half court. The net assembly. The supporting post, clamps, and clamping net must all be included in the net assembly in addition to the net itself, its suspension, and the supporting post, an upright post that is 15.25 cm high with its outside edge 15.25 cm outside the sideline will serve as the support for the net. Cords will be attached to the post at both ends to the hang the net from it. 15.25 cm must separate the top of the net from the playing area from its enter length. The net's ends must be fastened to the supporting post from top to bottom, and its bottom must be as close as possible to the playing area along its whole length. The ball must be round, have a 40 mm diameter. The ball must have a 2.7 G mass. The ball must be matte white, orange, and composed of celluloid or a comparable type of plastic. The racket. Any size, shape, or weight racket is acceptable as long as the blade is rigid and flat. The material used for the surface covering must be matte, bright red on one side, and black on the other. The blade thickness must be at least 85% natural wood. Terminologies. The rally. A rally is the period during which the ball is in play. The ball is in play from the last moment at which it is stationary on the palm of the free hand before being intentionally projected into service until the rally is decided as a let or a point. A let is a rally in which the result is not scored. The let. The point must be replayed if the ball hits the net during a serve but continues to bounce on the other player's side of the table. This is known as a let. The receiver is automatically given a point if the ball strikes the net but misses the other half of the table. A point. The point is a unit of scoring in table tennis and the rally of which the result is scored, the server. When a player serves in table tennis, they throw the ball with their free hand and then hit it with their paddle. The player who is serving must strike the ball so that it first hits their own side, then clears the net and lands on the other player's side of the table. The receiver. The receiver who will strike the ball second is a rally is referred to as the receiver. Volley. A player volleys the ball when they make contact with it with their hand, their racket, on their racket hand below the wrist. The ball. The ball shall be regarded as passing over or around the net assembly if it passes anywhere other than between the net and the net post or between the net and the playing surface. The service. The ball should begin the service sitting comfortably on the server's stationary free hands, open palm. The ball must rise at least 16 cm after leaving the server's free hands palm. Before falling without touching anything before being struck, the server must then launch the ball nearly vertically upward without adding any spin. The server must remove his or her free arm and hand from the area between the ball and the net as soon as the ball has been projected. In order for the umpire or assistant umpire to be satisfied, the player complies with the laws and the player's responsibility to serve. Either official may rule that a service is incorrect. On the first occurrence during a match, the umpire or assistant umpire may help play and warn the server if they are uncertain about the legality of service. Nevertheless, any subsequent service by that player or his or her doubles partner that is unclear regarding its legally will be deemed incorrect. The return. Once the ball has been served or returned, it must be struck so that it lands on the court of the other team, either directly or after making contact with the net assembly. The order of play. In singles, the server must make a service first, followed by the receiver making a return, and then the server and receiver making returns in turn. In doubles, the server must make a service first, followed by the receiver return, the server's partner's return, the receiver's partner's return, and then each player in turn in that sequence must make a return. In doubles, when at least one player of a pair is in a wheelchair due to a physical disability, the server shall first make a service. The receiver shall then make a return, but thereafter either player of the disabled pair may make returns. However, no parts of a player's wheelchair nor a foot of a standing players of this pair shall protrude beyond the imaginary extension of the central line of the table. If it does, the umpire shall award the point of the opposing pair. A game shall be won by a player or pair first scoring 11 points unless both players or pairs score 10 points, when the game shall be won by the first player or pair subsequently gaining a lead of 2 points. A match consists of the best of any odd number of games, usually 3, 5, or 7. Basic table tennis you need to know. Mastering table tennis involves a balance of mental tactics and physical talent because it is a multifaceted, difficult game. However, the 4 fundamental abilities that even a beginner might learn and practice to enhance their game form the basis of even the most complex games. Table tennis fundamentals training enhances performance and enjoyment while making way for eventual development of more complex techniques. Here are some table tennis fundamentals. 1. First thing first, stance and footwork. Putting your body in the proper stance is important before taking your opening shots. Your grip and whether you are serving, defending, or attacking the ball both have an impact on your stance is in respect to the table. However, you should always maintain the proper stance and body posture, regardless of how your arms are positioned in relation to the table. You can play the game with the balance, stability, and mobility that the proper posture provides. Feet, to allow for fast side-to-side movements. Your feet should be broad, spaced, and at least 1.5 shoulder widths apart. Keep your non-dominant foot slightly in front of your dominant foot. For left-handed people, this means keeping your left foot slightly further away from the table. The four fundamental table tennis moves: ankles and knees. Maintain a modest bend and flexibility in your knees and ankles while shifting your weight forward into your toes. This maintains your body prepared for any necessary forward or backward movement. Back and shoulders. Maintain a slight waist bend in your upper body. Your entire body is in a slight crouch, ready to spring into action with your shoulders forward, knees and ankles bent. Arms. Your arm should be up in front of your body with your elbow and paddle in front of you. Number 2, holding the paddle. Your grip or the way you hold the bat will determine exactly where your hands and arms will be in your stance. The shake hand grip and the pen hold grip are the two fundamental grips used in the table tennis. Depending on your preference and playing style, the various types of grips have specific variation for how you should position your hand on the paddle. The four basic table tennis strokes. Forehand drive. The most fundamental and essential ping pong stroke is the forehand drive. It responds to forceful or attacking strokes and places your ball close to the sideline or baseline of the opposition. To add power to the ball when using a forehand drive, rotate your body to the back. To do this, shift your weight to your back foot while rotating your upper body away. As soon as the ball touches the table on your side, turn your body toward it and put more weight forward. When striking the ball, add speed to the hit to impart spin. As you bring your paddle to a rest after striking the ball, point it upward. Backhand drive. The backhand drive is intended to return attacking shots and land the ball at the opponent's baseline. It is the mirror image of the forehand drive. If you want to hit a backhand drive, keep your stand angle toward the table and point your free arm toward the ball while standing with your torso in the ball spot rather than reaching with it. As you move your paddle arm forward and upward, your waist should bend forward and lift upward. You should hit the ball at the top of its bounce to complete the forward and upward motion. Backhand push. The backhand push prevents your opponent from making an offensive return while returning short balls. As with the backhand drive, your body should be positioned in line with the ball rather than reaching to the side with your arm. Sweep your arm forward from your chest, allowing the paddle swiftly to brush underneath the
Arnis. Arnis is the official national sport and the martial art of the Philippines. It is also known as Kali or Eskrima. These two terms are used for the traditional martial art of the Philippines, which is the Filipino Martial Arts or FMA, that focuses on weapon-based fighting with knives, sticks, bladed weapons, and some improvised weapons. Arnis is a combat sport to defend oneself from attacks using hand-to-hand combat, grappling and weapon disarming in weapon-based fights. Arnis was developed by the indigenous population of the Philippines, who use an assorted range of weaponry for combat and self-defense, and composing both simple impact and edge weapons. Arnis traditionally involve rattan, swords, daggers, and spears. The word arnis got originated from the Old Spanish term "arnés", meant armor, and eskrima is a Philippinization of the Spanish word esgrima for fencing, whereas the name Cali was derived from the pre-Hispanic Filipino term calis, which meant blades and fencing. Practitioners of the sport are called arnisador for male and arsinadora for female in arnis, and escrimador for male and escrimadora for female in the eskrima and kali art. Moreover, all the three arnis, eskrima, and kali belong to the same family of Filipino weapon-based material arts and fighting systems. Among the most popular forms of Filipino martial arts or FMA is eskrima, also known as kali or arnis. The three names are roughly interchangeable umbrella terms for the traditional martial arts of the Philippines. Eskrima is characterized by the use of weapons like sticks, knives, and various improvised arms. The origin of this martial arts discipline is heavily intertwined with Philippine history and the different cultures of various tribes. Among the three terms, Kali is the oldest. It originated from the southern part of the Philippines, where the locals speak the native dialect, Cebuano. The name itself comes from the language Ka stands for kamot, which means hand, and li stands for lihok, which means movement. When joined together, Kali can be translated to mean movement of the hand. A Kali practitioner is also known as Kalista. Eskrima originated from the central part of the Philippines. The name comes from a Spanish term esgrima, which means fencing. This is because eskrima involved the use of sticks as weapons. Spaniards encountered local Filipino martial arts during the colonial period. In the early years, eskrima was well regarded by the Spaniards, but by 1596, it was banned as it was thought to be too dangerous. By 1764, the practice was entirely forbidden. The Spanish attempt to destroy the Philippine culture by burning books and banning the use of the native alphabet by Bayin. However, Filipinos found a way to keep their culture alive by incorporating Kali movement into the religious Moro-Moro dances and weaving the Bayin into artistic needlework. The third from Arnis came about because of its attempt to keep Filipino culture alive. The Spaniards were impressed by the Kali-infused dances and skillful movement of the hands. Then they named it arnes, after their hand protection. Over time, the word evolved into arnis. The origin of arnis can be traced back to the native fighting techniques during the conflicts among the various pre-Hispanic Filipino tribes or kingdoms, whereas another form of Spanish fencing dating back to the 15th century also influenced the current form of arnis. Moreover, it also has the impact of Chinese, Arab, and Indian martial arts. Silamban, a stick-based ancient martial art of the Tamil Nadu, India, has influenced many martial arts forms in Asia like Silat, among which it is also believed that the Filipino martial art sport arnis also shares ancestry with Indian's martial art. Silamban, as it has some similar moves with the short stick, kali or kaji, and another weapon-based styles of silambam. Arnis originally belonged to the people of Philippines, but as time passed by, the art spread over to other countries, and by the time of World War II, many continents adopt it. Arnis also played a significant role during the Philippine revolutionaries against the Spaniards. Eventually, it was the Filipinos who provided the art with a systematic structure. It was brought to Hawaii and California in 1920s. The teaching was kept within the Filipino communities until the 1960s, after which Master Angel Cabales and other began teaching it to others. It took almost 2 decades to make the art known to all around the world, and in January 2010, it was officially recognized as the natural martial art and sport of the Philippines, depending upon the use of weapons and sticks. Arnis is differentiated into two styles. The classic arnis, that is all about the use of blades and weapons, whereas the modern arnis deals with the art of sticks and everyday objects. The modern arnis is the system of the Filipino fighting arts founded by Remy Peras as a self-defense system. His goal was to create an injury-free training method as well as an effective self-defense system to carry forward to all their Arnis system. Arnis was declared as the Philippines' national sport and martial art on December 11, 2009. The first national organization for Arnis is the National Arnis Association of the Philippines, or NARAFIL, which was founded in 1975 by General Fabian Sever. However, its existence faded post the Philippine Revolution in 1986. The two major types of arnis practiced as sports are the system followed by WICAF or World Eskrima Kali Arnis Federation, which was established in 1989 and is recognized internationally, and the other system followed by Arnis Philippines or RP, established in 1986, which was used prominently during the 2005 Southeast Asian Games. So sinasabi dito na nung taong 2009, ang Arnis ay dineclare na Philippine National Sport and Martial Art. Ang first national organization ng Arnis ay ang National Arnis Association of the Philippines na nahanap noon ni General Fabian Siver noong taong 1975. Ang existence ng Philippine Revolution noong 1986 ay tuluyan ng naglaho. Pero merong dalawang major types ng arnis na napapractice sa sports sa pamumuno ng WICAF na na-establish noong 1989 at na-recognize international. At ang isa naman ay ang Arnis Philippines noong 1986 na ginagamit pa rin noong taong 2005 during Southeast Asian Games. World Eskrima Kali Arnis Federation or WICAF is the most common system of arnis art which is used internationally. It was established in 1989. The system works on the 10-point mass system that is quite similar to boxing. Here, the participants spar with live sticks wearing a long padded vest, skirts, and sleeves. In this system, hitting below the thigh is strictly prohibited. This system emphasizes heavy offense at the expense of defensive techniques, and the combatants are seen hitting each other in a disorganized manner. Hence, the 4-second rule, according to which the participants were forbidden to use the same strike for more than twice in succession. This system is preferred by participants who want to test themselves. The second one is the Ernest Philippine System or RP. The Ernest Philippine System was established before the Wake Up System in 1986 and adopted a scoring system similar to fencing. The matches are observed by multiple judges to mark fouls and the loudness of the impact judges to strike strength. The participants score points by disarming their opponent or by forcing them to step out of the ring. In the RP system, participants use padded sticks with light rattan cores or wooden stem in the place of live sticks as they are tenderer and flex while attacking. The sport arnis is played between two fighters with the main objective of earning more points by legally attacking the opponent with the help of stick. It is said that arnis develop self-discipline and control because this sport is a simple martial art and it's all about defending oneself by using sticks. Regarding with the participants, for individual category event in Arnis, one player is selected per team, and for the team category, three players are selected per team. Regarding with the Arnis equipment, Arnis, Kali, or Eskrima are all part of the same art depending on the location, dialect, and type of training. The one interpretation common to all of them is that Kali is the mother art of Arnis and Eskrima. Moreover, Arnis focuses on the knife, including the dagger, sword, and any other form of bladed weapon, whereas Eskrima is based on the baston or stick. Therefore, the equipment used in Arnis are in an impact weapon, baston is the most basic and common weapon in Arnis. Traditional common materials used for wooden bastons are usually rattan, kamagong, and bahiwood. It is also available in modern materials such as fiberglass and plastics, and in metals like aluminum. In rattan, this is usually constructed from a stem of Southeast Asian vine. This stem is hard and durable yet lightweight, that makes the weapon useful for defense against blades. At present, fighters use padded bastons The baston or baton is about 28 inches or 71 cm in length. Kamagong, or also known as mabolo, is a dark, dense, expensive type of wood known for its hardness and weight. Kamagong is also an endangered species of ebony wood. Bahi is a type of wood made from the heart of a palm tree. It is similar to kamagong but is made up of porous material in weight and density. Number two is the edge weapons. Knife, dagger, spear, etc. are edge weapons used throughout the history for combat, hunting, and ceremonies. As you can see in the picture, these are the arnis weapons or impact weapons. Impact weapon usually consists of baston and is the most common basic and common weapon in arnis. Traditional common materials used for wooden bastons are usually rattan, kamagong, and bahi wood. These are the three types of baston. The first one is the kamagong or mabolo. This is a dark, dense, expensive type of wood known for its hardness and weight. Kamagong is also an endangered species of ebony woody. The second one is the rattan. This is usually constructed from a stem of Southeast Asian vine. This stem is hard and durable yet lightweight that makes the weapon useful. The bahi is a type of wood made from the heart of a palm tree. It is similar to kamagong but is made of porous material in weight and density. The edge weapons, knife, dagger, spear, are edge weapons that have been used throughout the history for combat, hunting, and ceremonies. Third is the headgear. It is a necessity in arnis combat. It is covered with high-grade leatherette and vinyl that is printed with ethnic art. Its materials provide vital protection from head strikes, and a multi-thickness metal frame is developed for impact protection. The fourth one is the body armor that is designed specially to provide complete upper body protection while allowing mobility and protection. The armor is usually made of hard plastic and vinyl for lightness, and the lower panels are extended downwards to provide extra coverage. The fifth one is the leg guard. These guards can be used to protect both thigh and the shin area and are not only designed for protection but also for combat and practically. Groin, it is a special padding for the lower abdomen. It has a groin cup to provide complete protection to the groin area. 7 is the hand gloves. It is a thick rubber protection which serves as a protection from strikes as the stick is held in hand. Its open palm design ensures a stable grip and finger flexibility for impact absorption. Arnis clothing, the basic Arnis uniform, is made for twill fabric, which maintains durability and comfort. It is specially designed after the classic Arnis uniform with Velcro straps to close the flaps easily. The playing area of Arnis is a square measuring 26.24 feet or 8 meters on one side with 6.56 feet or 2 meters of minimum free zone drawn outside it. All the lines of the playing surface are 1.97 inch or 5.8 cm in width, and four lines mark the boundary of the playing area. The two lines of 3.28 feet or 1 meter long and 6.56 feet or 2 meters aside mark the horizontal match line. When the horizontal match lines runs perpendicular to the official table, it is drawn 9.84 feet or 3 meters from the boundary lines, whereas 11.48 feet or 3.5 meters from the boundary line if drawn parallel to the official table. While playing this sport, the two fingers need to be fully equipped with the protective gears and are allowed to hit their opponents only above the thighs and two-round matches at 1 minute per round with 30 seconds of rest between rounds. Arnis has a 4-second rule that restricts the participants from making the same strike more than twice in succession. Moreover, if a rule is broken, then the officials give a warning sign before disqualification. At the end of the game, the fighter with highest points win. Basic rules of Arnis is a combative sport played by two individuals in a court measuring 26.24 feet into 26.24 feet or 8 meters both, with a smooth and clean surface. The players are paired or matched according to the division of weight categories. The minimum temperature for an outdoor competition shall not be below 25 degrees Celsius or 77 degrees Fahrenheit, and for the indoor competition, the temperature should not be above 25 degrees Celsius or 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Lighting apparatus is located above the free space. Before the game starts, players must be positioned in the playing area so that the red coded player is on the right side of the referee and the blue coded player is on the left side. Based on the pictures you see is the earnest striking areas. The effectivity of each strike depends on the mobility and the area where the strike is impacted. Therefore, the figure shown below depicts the 12 striking areas for better striking. Here is the crown head, right temple, right chest, right arm, left arm, stomach, right leg, and left leg. Scoring of the Arnis are all matches are scored by three judges on the 10-point must system. Scoring is based on quantity of strikes, effectiveness of strikes, and ring generalship, time spent staying with the ring. In single stick competition, this arm shall be scored as part of the match as a mandatory point deduction, and if three disarms takes place, this would result in a technical knockout or TKO, whereas in double stick competition, a fighter point will not be deducted if disarmed and will be continued to fight with one weapon until the end of the round. If a fighter loses both the weapons, then he or she will automatically lose the match.
12 striking techniques in Arnis. First is left side of head attack. From the fighting stand, the warriors will hold the stick with one lock. He will then move the stick in slashing action while keeping the free hand on the chest. So sinasabi po dito, mula sa fighting stand ay hahawakan naman dirigma ang patpat na may isa sa 1 o'clock. Pagkatapos ay igagalaw niya ang patpat sa isang pagkilos habang pinapanatili ang kamay sa dibdib. Second is right side of the head attack. Like the left temple strike, the warrior assume fighting stand, this time with the stick held at 11 o'clock and free hand keep on the chest. The stroke to the right temple is then done in a diagonal downward backhand swing. So sinasabi po dito, tulad ng pag-atake sa kaliwang templo, ang mandirigma ay nagpalagay ng paninindigan sa pakikipaglaban. Sa pagkakataong ito ay hawak ang patpat at ang kabilang kamay ay nakalagay sa dibdib. Third is left side of the body or torso. In this strike, the practitioner will extend the weapon hand. Then he will proceed to strike any part of the track located between the shoulder and the hips. So, sinasabi po dito, sa strike na ito, ipapaabot ng practitioner ang kamay ng sandata. Pagkatapos ay magpapatuloy siyang hampasin ang anumang bahagi ng track na nasa pagitan ng balikat at balakang. Next is right side of the body or torso. Again, the practitioner will extend the weapon hand to the strike any part of the body located on the right side between the shoulder and hips. The weapon of choice will be moved in backhand slashing swing. So, gaya nga po ng sabi dito, muling ipapabot ng practitioner ang kamay ng sandata upang hampasin ang anumang bahagi ng katawan na matatagpuan sa kanang bahagi sa pagitan ng balikat at balakang. Ang sandatang pinili ay lilipat sa backhand slashing swing. Fifth is thrust to the stomach. This is a strong thrust to the solar plexus or the stomach and can cause vital damage to vital organs in the abdomen. In this strike, the practitioner will thrust the weapon hand to the target point, which is the solar plexus. So, sabi po dito, ito ay isang malakas na tulak sa solar plexus o sa tiyan at maaaring magdulot na nakakamatay na pinsala sa mga mahalagang organ sa tiyan. Sa strike na ito, itutulak ng practitioner ang kamay ng sandata sa target sa punto ng kung saan ay solar plexus. 6 is left chest stab. In this strike, the practitioner will assume the fighting stand with the weapon of choice in his hand. So sabi po dito, sa strike na ito, ipapalagay ng practitioner ang paninindigan sa pakikipaglaban na may napiling sandata sa kanyang mga kamay. Next is right chest stab. After assumed fighting stand, the practitioner will practice the scoping action. This weapon hand is then extended forward with the palm pulsing outward. So sabi po dito, pagkatapos kunin ang paninindigan sa pakikipaglaban, ang practitioner ay magsasanay sa scoping action. Ang kamay ng sandata ay iuunat pasulong na ang palad ay nakaharap palabas. 8 is left lower leg. A practitioner here will try to deliver a powerful strike to the lower leg, targeting the knee, the chin, or the ankle. So, sinasabi po dito, susubukan ng isang practitioner dito na maghatid na malakas na hampas sa ibabang binti na tina-target ang tuhod, chin, o bukong-bukong. 9 is right lower leg. This strike is just like the previous one. The practitioner will extend the weapon hand and lower his body to hit the knee, the chin, or the ankle. This time, the palm should face downward. So, sinasabi po dito, ang strike na ito ay katulad ng nauna. Ipapahaba ng practitioner ang kamay ng sandata at ibababa ang kanyang katawan upang tumama sa tuhod o sa bukong-bukong. Sa pagkakataong ito, ang palad ay dapat nakaharap pababa. 10 is left eye poke. A targeted thrust to the eye socket will not just blind your opponent but will also deliver real damage to the brain. So sinasabi po dito, ang isang nakatarget sa thrust sa eye socket ay hindi lamang nakakabulag sa isang kalaban ngunit naghahatid din ng isang tunay na pinsala sa utak. 11 is right eye poke. This thrust is similar to the previous one except that practitioner will have to hold his elbow. So, sinasabi po dito, katulad ng nauna, inaasahan na ang practitioner ay kailangang hawakan ang kanyang siko pababa. Last is strike to the crown, top of the head. This is a straight downward swing directed towards the crown of the head. Hitting the top of the head can embolize your opponent, deliver damage to the brain, and throw him off balance. So, gaya po ng sabi dito, ito ay isang tuwid na indanyong pababa na nakadirekta patungo sa korona ng ulo. Ang pampindot ng tuktok ng ulo ay maaaring embolize ang iyong kalaban, maghahatid ng pinsala sa utak at mawawalan siya ng balanse.
Good day. I am the last reporter. My name is De La Cruz Jacqueline Aina. I will report the 7 Arnis stances. First is the ready stance. Stand with your feet apart parallel to the shoulder with both toes pointing forward. The knees should be straight, the waist and the body facing forward. Hands are on the waist level and the hands should be hold the sticks on both sides. The ready stance is commonly used when standing at ease during training or tournaments. Second is the attention stance. Stand with your feet forming a 45 degrees angle. Heels should be close to each other. Knees should be straight. The waist and the body facing forward. Shoulders are dropped to the side and both hands are at waist level. The attention stance is commonly used in preparation for courtesy or bowing at commencement of sparring. Third is forward stance. Starting with the ready stance, move one foot forward until the knee and the toe are in line to each other. Both toes are pointing in front. The waist and the body is facing forward. The body should not be too low or the lead foot too extended, otherwise it will be hard to maneuver. Distribute the weight or the center of gravity to both legs. Forward stances can be right foot lead, which is the right foot forward stance, or it can be left foot lead, which is left foot forward stance. Forward stance are commonly used in frontal, striking, or blocking techniques. Fourth is oblique stance. Starting with the ready stance, move one foot forward 45 degrees away from the body until the knee and the two are in line to each other. Move on the same direction as the lead foot. Example, for right foot lead, move 45 degrees forward to the right. Both toes are pointing in front. The waist and the body is facing forward. The body should not be too low or the lead foot to extend, otherwise it will be hard to maneuver. Distribute the weight or center of gravity to both legs. Oblique stances can be right foot lead, which is the right foot oblique stance, or it can be left foot lead, which is left foot oblique stance. Oblique stances are commonly used for forward blocking and evasion techniques. Is Estrada stance. Starting with the ready stance, move one foot about 2 feet to the left or the right direction until both lower legs are almost perpendicular to the ground. Both toes are pointing in front. The waist and the body is facing forward. The body should not be too low or extend, otherwise it will be hard to maneuver. Distribute the weight or center of the gravity to both legs. Straddle stance are also called horseback riding stance since it mimics position when riding on a horseback. Straddle stances are commonly used for blocking the strikes to the side of the body. 6 is the slide stance. Starting with the ready stance, move one foot about 2 feet to the left or right direction. Moving foot will be perpendicular to the ground while the other leg extended, thereby creating a position like that of a side kick. Both toes are pointing in front. The waist and the body is facing forward. The body should not be too low or extended, otherwise it will be hard to maneuver. Distribute the weight or center of gravity to both legs. If the left moves to the slide, it becomes left foot slide stance. If the right foot moves to the side, it becomes right foot slide stance. Side stances are commonly used for strike deflection and invasion techniques. The last part is back stance. Starting with the ready stance, move one foot backward 45 degrees away from the body. The heels of the foot should form an imaginary L shape while the legs are in a straddle position. The body should not be too low or extended, otherwise it will be hard to maneuver. Distribute the weight or center of gravity to both legs. Back stances can be right foot lead, which is the right foot back stance, or it can be left foot lead, which is left foot back stance. Back stances are used for blocking and backward evasion techniques.